Hey everybody, OzoneB here in the old Vaultcast house where I talked about everything that happened with the Vaultcasts earlier this summer. And well, while the intention wasn't to be as informative as the Vaultcast, the most recent server event was very informative and I just felt like I had to share. So what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about the most recent Vault Hunters SMP event where they finished the final vault. Or, well, I should say their final vault, because there isn't going to be a final vault, as Iskall said in the Vaultcast.
So last season, season 2 of Vault Hunters, we had a final vault where we meant to end the game, not just the series, the game. And this time around in the 3rd edition, I don't want Vault Hunters to have a definitive end. I see Vault Hunters as a sandbox RPG game.
But what there is going to be is a boss.
This time, we do not have a final vault, okay? What we have is the Ender Dragon of Vault Hunters.
And all the members of the official SMP got together on stream to tackle that boss. So let's talk about what this video is and is not. First of all, it's not meant to cover what happened on the official SMP. I barely watched the official SMP, honestly, and really only when I understand that there's going to be some information leaked like there was this time. No, the purpose of this video is to talk about what information was leaked and give you that heads up about what's coming. Now, this isn't really an update roundup, and it's not meant to be an update roundup. Like I said, it's really just meant to give you a heads up about what's coming down the pipe. Because as I already said in my 10 reasons why people are leaving Vault Hunters video, they're really bad about disseminating information through official channels. Iskall in particular likes to leak information on the streams, and so it's really hard to keep up with what's going on unless you watch the streams. Or unless somebody like me makes a video about it. So maybe the biggest, most important piece of information is that they've actually given a timeline for when Update 12 is supposed to be released. Now, it's already been 6 weeks since Update 11.4/11.5 was released. And for the last couple weeks, I've been expecting an update of some kind to be released every weekend, and it hasn't happened. But now we have a target date.
We are going to be releasing this and Update 12 end of the month.
All right, well, that's not really specific, but at the same time, it's better than any guidance that we've had. So in about 2 weeks, we should be starting to hear about Update 12 being available for download. And knowing how things go, it'll probably be delayed just a little bit. But it's good to have some kind of time frame associated with it. So to set the stage, let's start off by answering the question of, what do you need in order to get to this Ender Dragon of Vault Hunters? Well, in short, you need to be about level 100, but more importantly, you need to have found all of the artifacts. Now, I had felt and maybe assumed that all of the artifacts would get reworked as part of this 3rd edition of Vault Hunters, but no, it doesn't seem that way. All of the artifacts are still the same. And to make it even better, they've got a new tool to help you put them together in the right way.
So we're going to start by crafting the artifact tome, because this thing is inspired by this build. This is how you complete the artifact puzzle in Vault Hunters. You place this thing down, and as you can see, it will render the artifact puzzle. And if you put an artifact in the wrong place, they get red.
Now, I don't know about you, but that looks really neat to me. I know in the last season, there was quite some confusion about how to put those things together, so this artifact tome looks like a pretty amazing contribution. Now, artifacts are still quite rare, but he did also talk about that too.
In Update 12, the artifact rate is very different. Very different. Better or worse, it's easier to get artifacts after Update 12.
Alright, so artifacts are going to be easier to get, and you need one of these artifact tomes, and you need to be level 100. And then what?
Whoa!
Oh,
What's
happening?
Cute. Wait, how'd you do that?
Woo!
What was that?
Oh,
Oh, it's a seal for the fancy thing?
It's a seal for the vault.
That's right, you just click it and you get a seal that can be applied to the crystal, and that is what gives you access to the special vault and access to the boss. Now, one of the most important things about this is that it doesn't consume the artifacts. You can keep triggering the artifact tome and it will keep creating those seals for you. So you can encounter that special boss over and over and over again. Each time that you manage to survive the boss and complete the vault, well, then you get a trophy, and that trophy will change based on how much time you spend, or really how little time you spend.
How the heck do you get gold?
Sing
That's
solo.
true.
Furthermore, the vault scales based on the number of players and difficulty. The more players you have, the more difficult it is. So you can do it solo, and you can also do it in a group, and it will likely be a pretty different experience each time you do so. Now, honestly, I think this is really, really cool. And this seems like it's just the beginning of what we're going to expect later on, with more in-game content after Update 13.
The game is supposed to continue after this in Update 13 with greed levels and, cool replayable vaults and ancient vault gear and etchings and all of that stuff.
Now, once you're inside the vault, you make your way to an arena where you will encounter the boss themselves, named Herald.
Oh, look at Herald's base. It's pretty cool.
Ooh.
I do like Herald's face.
It's straight up flexing on all of us.
Now, at first, Herald doesn't seem to be very interested in you at all. What that means is that you can start the boss fight at any time you want, but the clock keeps ticking up the whole time that you're in the vault. And remember, the goal is to get as low a time as possible. Now, if you really want to know all about the phases of the boss and how to defeat them and what the special mechanics are, you'll have to watch the stream or watch some other video. I think that's a bit out of the scope for this video right now. But suffice it to say that there are 4 different phases, each of which is influenced by one of the vault gods, as well as 4 additional plain stages where you simply have to beat down the boss.
All right, everyone taunt him.
And once the fight starts, you're in for good. It's do or die. Now, in addition to the new boss, Iskall leaked a few more pieces of information. One dealing with charms.
This, ladies and gentlemen, this is a charm. Okay, I'm not going to talk about this before Update 12 stuff, but this item is a charm. And it rolls.
Looks like
Jordan, get your
like
wings out of the way.
Everyone's trying to get an angle on it. It's hilarious.
Ooh, that's a cool one.
And then you equip it.
You got a friend.
Oh,
You got a little
you're
friend.
charming.
It's not just this, right? I hinted about this. I'll talk about this later this week. We have done the entire God rework, and it is really cool now. It's really, really cool.
Another thing that Iskall talked about was their plans for Update 13.
Eternals, yeah, that's part of Update 13, Eternals. Eternals is a very difficult thing to solve. The game is supposed to continue after this in Update 13 with greed levels and, cool replayable vaults and ancient vault gear and etchings and all of that stuff.
But if you think back to the Vaultcast of a few months ago, there are 2 big systems that they said they wanted to have revamped before coming to beta and Update 12. Specifically, those are the relics and a system of achievements. Now, will they be there? I don't really know. It's very possible that they are going to be there and that Iskall just didn't mention them at any point in this stream. But it's also possible that they're not going to be there, and we won't know until Update 12 drops in a couple weeks. But the other things they said they wanted to do as part of Update 12 way back in July are the potions and the loot, which we've already got, and God Favors, which Iskall said that is going to be included in the next update. So all in all, they've done a pretty good job of ticking off those items before getting to beta. And if you catch this video early enough and you're interested in the details, you might go catch Iskall's stream where he says he's going to go over all the details about what's coming up in Update 12. I'll probably also watch that stream, and depending on how it goes, I might have another video up here very shortly, or I might just wait for the beta to actually drop. But regardless, it sure seems like we're getting really close to Update 12 and the beta phase of Vault Hunters, which is going to be really great. A lot of people are waiting for beta before they restart their worlds and retry Vault Hunters, and it does sound like that's the right plan because there's going to be a lot of changes that come. But the big news, of course, is all about the big boss fight, and I think that's pretty darn amazing. Now, Iskall had one more thing to say about bosses and Vault Hunters.
We've now got the fundamentals for bosses. And as such, can I do this? Yeah. As such, someone's coming back.
Yeah, we're going to get to see Boogie back once again. Although, we don't really know how that's going to look when it finally gets here, but I like the idea that there could be other new bosses. So what did you think about this video, and what do you think about the news of a boss fight within Vault Hunters? Possibly more than one. Does this make you more or less excited for beta? I don't know, there's a lot of people waiting on beta, and I think this is all pretty exciting news, but I'm starting to sound like a bit of a broken record, aren't I? Well, I'll say that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this content. If you did, please consider giving it thumbs ups, comments, likes, and subscribes, because that is all super important for the algorithm, and you know how much we'd like to cater to the algorithm. All well. In the meantime, remember, be excellent to each other. I'm out.